Okay, hi. So this is Ray Peck. I'm just posting another video. This is my second video blog, should I say, um, regarding boxing. So today I'm going to talk about the possibility of David Haye and Tony Bellew. I'm going to talk about Anthony Joshua and Klitschko, the position with that fight, which seems very much in doubt at the moment, which is probably the main topic that I'm going to talk about. So I've just watched a video with Eddie Hearn in it, talking about where we're at with the Anthony Joshua stroke Vladimir Klitschko fight. And it appears that it's very much in doubt now. And the main cause of this seems to be, well, Eddie Hearn is actually saying that he feels that Klitschko wants to take the easier fight. Now, the easier fight would be a fight with either Lucas Brown or Ustinov. Certainly not Anthony Joshua, because Anthony Joshua, I think it's generally accepted, is a harder hitter, a much tougher prospect, and the difference in purse between taking an AJ fight, which he potentially, could lose, and Lucas Brown or Ustinov, there's about £5 million in difference. Now, in the bigger picture, I suppose, if you look at that, he's going to lose £5 million. Let's say he takes the Lucas Brown fight, which is a very, very, very winnable fight for him. So let's say he takes the Lucas Brown fight, loses £5 million in purse money, but beats Lucas Brown. He's now bang in line for another big payday, maybe against AJ or whoever down the line. He's going to recoup the $5 million there. It's a common sense fight, I guess, if you look at it financially. If you look at it credibility wise, if you look at it, I'm Vladimir Klitschko. I've been world champion for God knows how many years. I lost my title to a Brit. Number one, okay. I lost my title to a Brit, Tyson Fury, who has now relinquished his titles, so they're up for grabs. What better way to win your title back than winning it against a Brit? Not only against a Brit, against a very formidable, world-renowned, hard-hitting heavyweight who is waking up the heavyweight division by I've heard him referred to as the second coming of Mike Tyson, with the way he throws his punches and the power in his punches. I wouldn't go quite that far, as I said in my previous video. I actually believe that if that fight was to happen, I think maybe AJ could come unstuck, because I still haven't seen enough from him to tell me he's the real deal. He's the contender. Not yet. I personally, this is just my opinion, I think he needs to take a couple more fights. Maybe he needs to fight Lucas Brown. Maybe he needs to fight Ustinov. Clear them up the way. Now he is the number one. He'd be the one everybody wants. Everybody would have to fight. To me, that's the natural progression of how it should be. I totally understand that if the Klitschko fight is in front of AJ, why wouldn't he take it? Because he's got that, right? And if that lands on anyone, they go to sleep. Period. No question. So the sensible fight for me would be to take either Lucas Brown and Ustinov and work your way into that position where you are number one there and there's no one going to touch you. You know, you're the fight that everybody has to take. But, you know, listen, I would fight Klitschko tomorrow if they offered me the fight. That there's no question about that, because, you know, you're fighting a world-renowned ex-world champion. There's credibility there, and that's what it's about. And without question, Anthony Joshua has the firepower to put him away and put him asleep and end his career. So Eddie Hearn has even offered to fight just for an IBF belt. But what he's saying is Klitschko, he wants the WBA world title. AJ said he will do it for one or two belts. It's irrelevant. He'll do it for the same deal. The worrying thing is that on Hearn's video, he was asked, "What's your plan B?" And he said, "I don't have a plan B." What he really wants is the WBA to sanction the fight. If the WBA can sanction this fight, then it's on, no question. The problem is they haven't sanctioned it. He seems to feel they will sanction it by the end of the day today, even possibly. I think Mendoza needs to get his fingers out and he needs to say, "Do you know what? This is the perfect fight. It makes perfect sense. WBA, we're going to sanction this. Let's make it a super fight. Let's get it on." I've got to say, I like Eddie Hearn. I like his honesty. I like, you know, he tells it exactly how it is. And I don't think any, you know, if the fight doesn't come off between AJ and Klitschko, you can't blame Eddie Hearn. That will be Klitschko avoiding Anthony Joshua. There's no question about that at all. I think, you know, if we go back to what I said, if we went back to the Lucas Brown and Ustinov route, Klitschko wouldn't be able to avoid Anthony Joshua, and that would be I actually think there'd be more money generated if he did it that way. Or there'd be a little longer to wait, but that would be the super fight, wouldn't it? That would be the fight everyone wants to see. Let's forget about, oh my God, I don't even want to talk about David Haye, but let's forget about a David Haye Anthony Joshua fight. Ridiculous. It's not ridiculous at the moment. I think that fight, to be honest, is a natural fight. Anthony Joshua and David Haye. And I think Anthony Joshua would put Haye away because I think Haye's a fraud, in my honest opinion. But, you know, if he went down that route of taking a couple more fights, building his name up, building his rep up, putting people away, and making it unavoidable for everyone, they have to now fight him. They've got to come through him now. You know, if he can do that, God, a Klitschko fight, that will be a huge fight then. If Klitschko's genuinely a contender still, and I believe he is. I don't know what went wrong against Fury. He just didn't turn up for the fight. He had the total wrong game plan. I think Fury just got inside his head. You know, I think Fury, he played the perfect pre-fight game. You know, and I think it messed up Klitschko's game plan. But I think a better prepared Klitschko, we know what Klitschko's capable of. He's a great, great boxer, undoubtedly. You know, you wouldn't be world champion for the length of time he was if he wasn't a great boxer. It wasn't the best division in the world at that time, I've got to say. I think it's a much tougher division now, and I think the Brits have got some great fighters as well. you might not disagree with this, but I think Dillian Whyte is. I think he's a great heavyweight. I think he's very, very good. So let's get that on. Let's try and see whether we can, we can get the fight one way or another. If not, AJ, let's just take your time, son. There's other fights out there. There's a whole host of heavyweights out there that you can step up to now and make your mark. What else am I going to talk about? I'm going to talk about briefly. Then I'm going to talk about Haye and Bellew and Haye and AJ, I guess. Eddie Hearn did say that he's going to try and get that fight on at some point, AJ and Haye, possibly next year. And he did also say that if that happens, Bellew would get the winner. Well, I think Bellew Haye is a definite fight, and I'm not sure Bellew would win that, if I'm honest. I think Haye, since his comeback, he's definitely bulked up. He's got more in his armory. Is he good enough to be a heavyweight champion? I don't know. But I think he's probably got enough to take care of Bellew. That's a shame, to be honest, because I like Anthony Bellew. I think Tony Bellew. I think he's a great fighter as well. He stepped up to take, in his last fight, to step up to heavyweight. I think may just be a step too far. And the problem is that David Haye is looking more and more like a natural heavyweight these days than he did before. I certainly saw in his last fight, very big shoulders, very muscular. Now let's move that on to Anthony Joshua and David Haye. I think David Haye would test Anthony Joshua probably harder than he's been tested in any of his fights, because David Haye has got ring craft and he's been to the mountaintop. He's fought some very credible people, so he's learned his craft. And he is powerful. He's got a punch on him. That's the thing you need to remember. Now, we saw AJ get tagged before and look a little bit wobbly. I had visions of Frank Bruno in my head when it happened, unfortunately. I think he needs to be in the ring with someone that's going to test him that way again. Because I want to take a closer look and see, actually, can you take a punch? When you've got a guy hitting you hard, how are you going to react? Now, he reacted very well. He took that punch. He recovered from it, and he went back and he won the fight. And that's exactly what you would ask and what you would hope he would do if he's going to be a credible world champion. All the world champions. Muhammad Ali was one of the greatest world champions of all time, and he was put on his backside, a few times, and he got up and he won. He lost his title and he won, came back and recovered it. That's the mark of a real champion. Klitschko, it may happen. So Anthony Joshua, David Haye. My prediction, if that ever happens, I would say Anthony Joshua would stop Haye in the mid to late rounds. And David Haye, Tony Bellew, I would say would be a stoppage in favour of David Haye again in the later rounds. But there could be a shocking story with that one. Do I think the Klitschko AJ fight is going to happen? I think it will, but not yet. And I think that's probably good for AJ. I hope you like this this video blog, whatever you want to call it. If you do like it, please mention and say something in the comments. If you'd like to hear more from me and my views, please let me know. Give me a thumbs up. My name's Ray Peck. Look forward to speaking to you again soon. Thanks. Bye.